Yes, welcome to this week's video, and we're going to take a look at the team case more specifically. Um, I know some people were trying to look at getting things kind of ready for their holiday, and wanted to kind of get a head start on it, and so I've answered a few of those, sent out an email this morning, but I thought we'd go into it in a little more detail here. So as we look into week 4 here, okay, this is where you're going to actually put in here your case selection. Okay. So basically, I have selected your groups for you. And I'll show you how to get to those in just a second, but we're going to talk a little bit about the case first. The case basically is what we have. If you look back here, go back one slide here, is just like before. We've got here, you've got a selection of cases underneath here that you can, each one of these is a PDF, and you can choose from each one of those 5 cases. Okay, so they're all located right underneath there. This is kind of works a little bit differently. So here, what you're going to be doing is you're going to actually be adding um, you're going to basically, as an assignment, you're going to post up this little bit of a document, basically in a text box. You're going to tell me what one your group is going to, which selection of the case is your group is going to do. Now I pre-selected your groups for you this time. And then what you're going to be basically doing is you're going to do the first half of you're going to actually do kind of the whole case study, but you're really going to, what we're going to be looking for is basically 3 things, like I said in the email before, which is basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to, first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and complete the first case, part of the case. So when you take a look at the actual case part of this, you'll be taking each one of you in the group is going to individually complete the case. Okay, so you're going to be looking at your summary. You're going to be looking at 2 articles this time, not 4, just 2 articles, article summaries. And then you're going to be looking at your potential solutions, not choosing one, but you're going to look at all your potential options. Okay, so what you're going to do once you get all those, you're going to submit that into the individual portion of the case right here. So you're going to basically, and next week is at the end of next week, which is after Thanksgiving, that Sunday night, you're going to have to deliver these, just like you did for the individual case. You're going to look for the baseline, the problem statement, SMART goals, 2 articles, and then you're going to be looking at what your potential aspects are of that case. In other words, what are your potential solutions for that case? Okay, but you're not going to choose the solution. You're just going to present some options. Okay. Then in week 6, which is the following week, to December 3rd, 4th, December 4th is you will get together as a team after you've got all your potential solutions together. And then what you're going to do is then do the team portion of this, which is put basically select one. You're going to combine your individuals into one paper. So you're going to take a summary. You're going to look at a summary of the case. You're going to take each of your 2 articles and use them in your solutions, your potential solutions. You're going to combine your individual potential solutions into one body of potential options for that case. And then you're going to combine as a group and select one of those and justify why you've selected that one particular aspect of it. So, and then you'll post that up in the team portion. Now you will be posting that individually, but so you'll need a copy for each one of you for that. So each one of you will post up that copy. Basically, you're going to get the same feedback and the same on this portion. You'll get the same feedback from me as well as the same grade, obviously, because you'll be doing those as a team. But that way, it clues me in that everybody needs to upload that portion. So to find your groups, in case you have not found them already, you're going to be going to people. Okay. And it says project groups here. You're going to look at project groups. And then you're going to click on these. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So we have 2 groups of 4, and we have 5 groups of 3. Okay. So what you will end up doing then is, if you want to, you can actually use this section right here, is visit the home group page. And you guys all have this as well. So you can actually do that. And this is group number 1. Okay. That up out of the way. And then what you can do is you can add an announcement. You can add pages. You can, this is the part that I think you guys would want to be able to use, is these 2 sections of the discussions. Okay. And it's one of those where you can have discussions between you guys in this area. Okay, so you can actually create a discussion up here. You add a discussion. You can actually just put in there the title. Okay, talk discussion on the case, discussion on this is what our potential solutions are. You can actually carry back and forth, have your own discussion between your group members there. Nobody else will be able to see it except for me, but the rest of you guys would not. But you can have that discussion over potential solutions. You can also use this files section here to go back and forth between your files. Okay, so if you want to go back and forth between your group with one particular document as you're editing it, you can actually do that in this section right here and click upload. Again, nobody else is going to be able to see that but you, because this is all for group 1, and then there's one for each of the 7 groups. So you can actually use your own website. It's kind of like your own little Canvas world in here that you guys can use to share information between you guys. It's also accessible on the app, so you guys can go ahead and have your conversations back and forth and those types of things. So when you think about that, you can, that's definitely a way to be able to do that. Now I can switch between groups. You guys will not be able to do that. So when we take a look at this aspect of it, let me get out here and go back in. And back into modules. So that's kind of the case in a nutshell. Okay. I will put out one next week, a video next week on the actual on the paper. We'll be talking about those, because that's when you'll actually be starting to look at your paper and your topics. Okay. So the research paper, it's due in week 7. You'll see me put in again a little bit of a discussion next week on your topics, just to make sure that I can go ahead and make sure you're on the right track with those. So this week in week 5, we're looking at conflict and negotiation. Okay. You do have a discussion on resolving disputes. We also have, so if you click on that aspect of it, okay, there's a case that's located in the text. Okay. You need to answer in this case, you're going to need to answer these questions about the case in reference to the case. So when you take a look at those, how would you look at this? So do you have you ever had constructive conflict? Okay, and constructive conflict actually is a good thing. And constructive conflict is one of those items where you actually challenge somebody because it's the best thing for them. It's what I do in the ethics class and some of the other classes where I will throw something out there, whether I agree with it or not, and make you guys explain that aspect of it. I will challenge you to justify your answers. Again, that's constructive conflict. Okay. You kind of want that constructive conflict because that improves innovation and improves problem solving, does all sorts of really great stuff. So constructive conflict is good. Okay. Now dysfunctional conflict is the opposite of that. Okay. So when you're at dysfunctional conflict is where, you're having conflict between people that just do not want to work together. They can't work together for whatever reason. They're having difficulties. So you're going to have to really take a look at how you would manage those. So it's going to ask you to talk about, and again, these could be your sports teams. They could be almost anything. So take a look at dysfunctional conflict and constructive conflict. Okay. And then you're going to look at it as how would you as a manager think that you could actually improve that? How could you promote that? And in the work environment. Now, see, I kind of end up a lot of times I'll play devil's advocate. I'll challenge decisions. I'll challenge and vice versa. I've had employees challenge me. So these are all aspects that we would definitely look at trying to be able to push us to make a better organization. Then we do have just one quick mind tap this week. And then we're into Thanksgiving week. Unfortunately, we still have things that are due. So as we get into Thanksgiving week, we're continuing on to, conflict and negotiations. We're also looking at ethics this week, and ethical challenges, decision making. How do you make those handle uncertainty? These are really good videos for you guys to take a look at this week. I did kind of jump ahead a little bit into conflict and negotiation next week, because it is, again, it's a holiday week and people are kind of looking to maybe jump ahead a little bit, so they don't have to do quite so much work over the Thanksgiving weekend. But you still have that's due right afterwards is the individual portion of the case. So on November 27th. So you're going to need to really reel that in and kind of still get that working in that regards. So the ethical challenge is one for this week. There's a case, the case is on 281, reviewing ethics. And then I'm asking you guys to think about how you would respond to that situation. That one's pretty straightforward. Shouldn't have any problems with that. So that kind of reviews our work for this week. So if anybody has any questions or anything else, feel free to reach out after you've reached this video. I will kind of go over this stuff again for next week on conflict, but if you guys wanted to jump ahead because again, it is Thanksgiving week, and I know you guys are nobody wants to necessarily the discussion in resolving disputes. Many of you may decide to do that early, and then just kind of do a few comments towards the end of the weekend, which is all fine, just as long as your case is completed by then. If you're behind on your mind tap, you may want to catch that up, because obviously we're at over halfway now. The end of the week, we will be halfway through the course, and we'll be in the downhill side. So we still have a decent amount of work to do left, but getting behind and having to do those mind tap things closer to the end, it's definitely not something you want to do. All right. If like I said, I'll be posting one next Monday to go over the team portion a little bit more, and I'll be talking a little bit about the paper to kind of give you guys a quick run through there. So those that are willing to start ahead, get a head start on the paper, we can go ahead and do that. All right. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Good luck to the football guys and the football team as they head over into Pensacola.